study today, we're gonna learn everything about leg drag. You're gonna learn how to set up the position, what variations of passes you can combine with it, and what you're really looking for when you get on the position. Here's my latest class on leg drag. Hope you all enjoy it. One thing that we need to do like drag is moving outside of the leg. So there'll be two approaches that we need to take straight away. It's one where I can touch his legs, but he's not making any meaningful grip on me. This would be the easiest, right? What is the advantage of the leg drag is that I don't need too much angle to get where I want. I just need to move outside of the legs, okay? So I move outside of the legs, I'm already in a position to get to the leg drag, okay? What we want, get lower than the first leg and pin the bottom one, okay? The grip that I would recommend you to do is the C grip right on the ankle. We want the back of the knee touching our hip. Try not to divide weight between the two knees. It's definitely way more weight on this leg, and the top leg is against my hip. So this C grip helps. And the last thing about position here is I'm always thinking about the cross shoulder pose, okay? To be across the shoulder. His frames will be strong, and I can do nothing about this. I'm not even fighting with the frames, because if I fight too hard here, he starts to recover on the bottom. I'm on the hip, let the frames be strong. We are not fighting them, okay? So stay low on the hip, and this is all that you need to get, okay? Another grip that I can do is I put my elbow in front of his knee and go for a collar tie here. We're approaching our opponent from far, grabbing the ankles and moving outside the legs. Once we get outside of the legs, we're gonna drop. So I need to be lower than the first leg, and I'm gonna drive across. I want his knees pointing away and his feet pointing away. C grip on the ankle, pinning the bottom leg, and the knee of the top leg should be against my hip. We can also do a collar tie here, as long as the elbow is also protecting that top leg. Okay, so that'll be one way to approach. Probably the easiest because he doesn't have any meaningful grip with me. If he has two hooks inside, for example, our approach needs to change a little bit because I cannot get outside of the legs now because he's hooking me. Okay, so I need to start to deal with this first and then work my way to get outside of the legs again. So every time that they're putting hooks on you, a little bit of pressure on the knees. And then I'm gonna start to windshield wiper here. So I turn my knee to beat his hook, and I just bring my leg to the inside. Now I'm one step away to get outside of the legs. I'm gonna make contact with the leg again, the other leg, and doesn't matter if he does a hook or not, it's the same approach. Knee, windshield wiper, I'm outside of the legs. As soon as I get here, we are driving to the same position. So again, if there is two hooks inside, pressure on the knees. If you don't put hands on the knees, it's easier for them to follow with the hook, okay? Even if you're fast here, you might end up like falling, taking the leg out. So limit the power of the hooks just by pushing a little bit. Don't need to overdo as well. Knee inside, windshield wiper, we are one step away to go. But we're still far from that leg, so we move. I made contact and I go again. Windshield wiper, I'm outside of the legs. We just come back, getting the leg drag. Okay? Another situation that it's good to know, because they play a lot, is the De La Riva. Now it's not an inside hook, it's an outside hook. But every time that they're playing a sort of a half guard, I'm also one step away to get to the leg drag. I just need to get one leg to the outside. We're gonna approach really similar than the last one. I'm gonna push on the knee, and I'm gonna extend my leg now to take that hook, okay? Now, I want this leg across, so I'm gonna start to put pressure. My hip goes forward, and then I get down, bringing the leg across. See that he's still grabbing the ankle? Don't worry about that. When we start to go over, it's probably gonna be painful if he decides to still hold on that, okay? So you can go, literally go there. What we have to respect is the hook. So if I do this and I don't address the hook, it might have some trouble to get to the leg drag. So we start by pushing the knee and extending the leg. I took the hook out. Now I'm going right on the ankle, my hip moves forward, and then I bring it across. Once it is across, it's all about me positioning myself, getting down, either getting the collar tie or going on the ankle. All right, let's get back here now and work a little bit on reactions that we can have before we get that. So we have as a big goal to get down to here, okay? But one thing that your opponent is gonna know right away is when the knees are pointing away, when the feet is pointing away, they cannot do guard to us. So a person that is switched on here, the moment that I get to this position, it already flashed the yellow light for them. If I keep on going, they know that I'm gonna be in deep trouble. So they're gonna rush to turn back to me. So the foot are gonna go on the ground and they're gonna start to turn, okay? When they start to turn here, I'm gonna take this time to move to positions that are gonna give me the pass. The first one is that camping on the hip. When he tries to bring the leg back now to the inside, the leg cannot come back. When he tries to bring this leg back, I'm controlling the knee. And then from here, we can start to run the leg back until we can drop and secure our pass. This will be way harder to do without this first initial approach. If I try to go straight away to that position, he's already turning and putting the entire defense to me. So what I'm doing, I'm threatening a leg drag and forcing him to turn. But when he turns now, I get the position and I move even more. When he tries to bring the legs now, it's a hard task, and all that I need to do is walk the legs back and consolidate the pass. So this is a pass to side control. We can also go all the way to north-south. So if I get here, again, he is turning. The moment that he turns, I can put my hand on his pocket and start to go with this hand over. Now I need to walk a lot with my legs. I want my legs passing his shoulder line, and then my head goes down, controlling the hip. It's really important that as I'm doing this, I keep my head down, because when we move after the shoulder line here, what he's trying to bring is this knee inside so he can spin. So my head needs to be lower than his knee. And then I drop, I'll have the pass, okay? So 2 loose passes from that. I'm getting to the side. He is turning. I can punch the pocket, go over, and get down to a north-south pass. Or when he goes, I'm just gonna move a little bit more and camping on the hip. Now I walk the leg back and I pass to side control, okay? So we are forcing them to turn. The last one will happen with flexible people. They try to high leg back. And if they can touch you, you won't be able to keep on going that way. So what I mean, when he moves to the side, he goes quick and high leg over. Now there is no way to pass to that side. I'm just gonna push this leg down, and my knee goes to the other side, and I just bring my foot back. Arm goes over, I'm in a leg drag again. So one more time. I'm moving to the side, he high legs to me, I cannot insist that way. So I push this leg down, knee goes down. I have to bring my foot to this side, okay? If my foot stays there, he still can engage into leg entanglements. So the knee will stay, but the foot comes back. And when we get here, the arm that it's underneath, just go over, we are in a leg drag again, okay? So you have 2 loose passes, side control and north-south. And if they're quick and they high leg to you, just come back and do the leg drag to the other side, okay? Let's try. 2, 1. Once we get to the leg drag, okay? So basically, his ability to do guard to me is compromised. Legs are pointing away, but he's still too strong on the frames, okay? So if we fight the frames here, he's gonna have enough time to stop us here and start to bring like knee back, and then I'm facing the guard again. So the big thing here is to be patient and keep controlling the hip. Don't worry too much to the upper body. avoid the temptation to hug the upper body because it's a battle that they can win. Of course, you could win if they make a mistake, but if they are disciplined with hands and elbows, you're going to have a problem there. And all that they need is to stop you for a little bit so the hip moves out or inverts. Then the legs are going to be back. So you need to stay focused on the hip. Let's see like two situations here. So the first one, it's him trying to turn into me. So as he tries to turn into me, I'm chasing this hip. You see that he can keep on like having frames on me, but I'm staying on the hip and getting the side control. And then once you're here, we can start to look to get better positions on side control and then address the upper body. But on the transition, I cannot fall on the temptation of do this. He starts to turn to me and I try to hug the upper body. Now the leg is back. We just saw the two situations that we go for loose passing. I could take a step back as well. He's turning into me. I could always take a step back and go for loose passing again. When we are going to the back, it's the same thing. He's going to the back to turtle. Temptation is to try to go for seatbelt. If I go to seatbelt and he's keep on rolling, I'm back on his guard. So the same way here, when he goes turtle, I'm chasing the hip, not the upper body. See that I'm pinning the bottom leg, my knee on top, the ground on the bottom. When he starts to go turtle, the leg comes up. This is where my knee comes in. Now I'm controlling his hips too. If he decides to stay in place, we're going to start to work to get the back from here. So power Nelson, we hold the hands together, forearm against the neck, and I start to drop the head and lift the elbow to bring him down to the hip so I can insert my bottom hook and then start to work my way up, seat belt, work with the second hook, or even like close a body triangle. If he goes to turtle, I catch, but he keeps on moving, I'm going to keep going outside of him. If I'm fast, I can get to the back here. But if he goes and lands on his back defending, I'm just on the leg drag again or in a side control, as long as I stay outside of the legs. So going that way now, he's going turtle. I need to, if this hip is dropping, I need to keep on going. If I go fast, I can move straight away behind him. But even if he drops his back before I get there, I'm still outside of the legs or in a side control. But you see that in the both situations that we did, what I'm following is the hip. I'm not trying to hug on the upper body because the moment that the hip gets free, he can start to work to bring the legs back. Okay? So let's work a little bit on these two transitions. And then we start to play with it. Questions? Guys, really efficient, all right? Just getting good on the leg drag are gonna take a little bit of time. But if you just bring this to your game, so instead of like going straight away to a pass, you always start by this. This is already like a big thing, you know? If you spend a lot of time just going here, let's say he turns and then you go here, but then they recover. And then you restart again outside. You're always putting them in a place that they cannot do guard and they have to move and push. Eventually, you'll find your opening. All right? Let's try. 2, 1.